Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Jag here. In today's class, we're going to continue with our Math 9 content. And what we're covering today is going to be solving equations involving fractions. So with that, let's get started. All right, so here we are. And let's try a few examples first. So I just put the title down, solving equations involving fractions. Okay, so what we're going to do is just dive right in and try some of these examples. Okay, from the textbook. Okay, and the textbook we're using here is the Principles of Mathematics. Okay, so this is our equation here. It's 6 equals 1 over 3 times 8 plus x. Okay, so what we're going to do, instead of basically doing the distributive property here, what I'm going to do is find the lowest common denominator. Okay, and remember the lowest common denominator is basically what I have as a denominator of the fraction here. In this case, it's equal to 3. Okay, you take the lowest common denominator, and I'm just going to times it by 3 on both sides. Okay, so remember when I'm putting this dot, that means you're multiplying the two numbers together. So I'm doing 3 times 6, so 18 equals, and I'm going to put one step in between here. What we're doing is 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. So 3 over 3, and then 8 plus x. Okay, so just like this. Okay, 3 divided by 3 is just equal to 1. So it's going to be 18 equals, what I'm left with is 8 plus x. Okay, does everyone see that? And in the next step, what we're going to do is take the 8 to the other side. Remember, every time you go across the equal sign, you're changing the sign. So it's going to be 18 minus 8, which is equal to x. Okay, and then x is just equal to 10. And I'm going to box our answer here. And that's all you are doing, okay? So you see that we are just finding the lowest common denominator, and we're just multiplying it on both sides to get rid of the fractions. Okay, is everyone good? Let's try one more example here. So I'll just write it on the bottom. So 3, and I have y minus 5 over 4. And it's equal to 7. Okay, so one more time, if you're looking here, we're doing the LCD. So these are some simple questions. The LCD here is equal to 4. Okay, so what I want to do is just multiply by 4 on both sides like this. Okay, if you look very closely on the left side, we're going to do 4 times 3, which is 12. Let's write one step in between. So I have 12 y minus 5 divided by 4. And on the right side, we're doing 7 times 4, which is 28. Okay, so now you're probably wondering that why is it still a fraction here? Okay, there are different ways of solving these equations. Okay, this is the most simple form. I don't want to take the 4 to the other side. I'm just going to do 12 divided by 4, which is equal to 3. So 3, and inside the brackets, I'm still left with y minus 5 equals 28. Okay, everyone's good so far? Now we're going to use the distributive property and open up the brackets here. Okay, so I'm doing 3 times y, so 3y. Okay, and then you're doing 3 times negative 5, so negative 15, which is equal to 28. Okay, and one more time, we're going to basically take this negative 15 to the other side. Okay, make sure just like in integers, okay, I have to take the sign that is in front. So I'm left with 3y equals 28 plus 15. Okay, there's no need to write two signs here. We're just going to leave it like this. So 3y equals, and I'm doing 28 plus 15, which is equal to 43. Okay, and then you're going to divide by 3 on both sides. Again, if you're not sure what you're dividing by, I have to divide by the number that is in front of the variable. Okay, if you use your calculator, 43 over 3 is a decimal. Okay, so most teachers just want you to leave it as a fraction. Okay, so this is y. Y is equal to 43 over 3. Okay, are there any questions there or concerns? Okay, and that's all we're doing in this section here, okay? You can see solving the equations using fractions is quite simple. So we're going to go through one more type of question here. Okay, where we have two fractions equal to each other. So maybe let's write it right here. Okay, so let's try this one. I have k plus 2 divided by 3. And it's equal to k minus 4 divided by 5. Okay, everyone can see that? So as you can see, one fraction is equal to the other. Okay, I can always take the LCD, okay, and just multiply it on both sides. Okay, or I can also just cross multiply it. So I'm just going to draw some arrows here, like this. Because this basically gives you the same answer, okay, as you coming up with the LCD. So I'm going to take the 5, and you're going to times it by the numerator, which is k plus 2. Does everyone see that? I'm going to take the 3, the denominator, and times it by the opposite numerator, so k minus 4. Okay, and as soon as you do this, I notice, okay, that basically I'm just getting rid of all the fractions. Okay, now we're going to use the distributive property here. And I'm going to do 5 times k, which is 5k, plus 5 times 2, which is equal to 10. Okay, then go to the other side here. We're going to do 3 times k, so 3k. Okay, and then you're doing 3 times negative 4, negative 12. Okay, everyone's good so far? We're just going to put the like terms together now. So I always draw arrows, okay? So I notice I want to put all the k's on one side. So I'm going to take the 3k to the other side. I'm going to leave some room here. So 5k minus 3k equals, and if you look very closely, this is positive 10, okay, on the left side. When you take it to the right side, it's going to become negative, okay? So I have negative 12 minus 10. Okay, does everyone see that? And you can do an extra step if you like, okay? So I did one step here, and I just drew arrows so you can see which ones we're moving. Okay, notice that we're not moving the 5k here. That's why it's still positive. We're not moving the negative 12, so it still stays as negative 12. Okay, so now we're going to do 5k minus 3k, which is equal to 2k. Okay, and then you're doing negative 12 minus 10, which is negative 22. Okay, everyone's good there? We're looking for the value of k, so I'm just going to divide it by 2 on both sides. Okay, and the 2 is canceling out, so we're doing negative 22 divided by 2. K is equal to negative 11. Okay, make sure you box your answer at the end. Okay, usually the teacher will give you 1 mark, and that's for the final answer. All right, does anyone have questions there? So with that, let's try one last example. Okay, so this is 1 over 3. I have 2x minus 5 equals 3 over 4. And I have x minus 2. So just like this. Okay, and in this case, I want to do my LCD. Okay, so let's write it on the top here. So for the LCD this time, I notice I have 2 fractions. So I'm just going to do 3 times 4. My LCD is equal to 12. Okay, and what you do is on both sides, I'm just going to multiply by 12. So just like this. Okay. And again, when you do that, I should be getting rid of these fractions. Okay. So we're going to do 12 times 1. Maybe let's write one step in between, which is 12. And 2x minus 5. On the other side, you're just multiplying it with the numerator. 12 times 3, which is 36, divided by 4. Okay, and notice inside the brackets, it just stays the same. Okay, so now I'm just going to divide these numbers. So 12 divided by 3, which is 4. 2x minus 5 equals to 36 divided by 4, which is equal to 9. And then x minus 2. Okay, So you notice again, when we just multiply by the LCD on both sides, I notice that it just cancels out the fraction. Okay, in this last step, we're going to do the distributive property here. So we'll just make some arrows. So 4 times 2x, okay, so 8x. And then you're doing 4 times negative 5, so negative 20 equals, okay, 2, let's make our arrows. 9 times x, which is 9x. Okay, and then you're doing 9 times negative 2, negative 18. Okay, everyone's good there? All right, so what we're going to do now is just, let's move over the x's to one side. So I'm going to take the 8x to the other side. This is negative 18. I'm going to take it to the left side. Okay, so on the left side, notice I have negative 20. This was negative 18. If you take it to the left side, it's positive 18. Okay, equals, on the right side, I have 9x. This is positive 8x. I'm taking it over, so it becomes negative 8x. Okay, so also note down, I can actually move the x's to either side I want to, but make sure you're moving all the numbers to the opposite side. Okay, so here I'm doing negative 20 plus 18. The signs are different, so you're going to subtract the numbers, which is equal to 2. Okay, the 20 is the bigger number, and the 20 is negative. So I notice it's equal to negative 2, okay, on the left side. And then 9x minus 8x is equal to 1x. Okay, if you divide by 1 on both sides, I notice it stays the same. So x is equal to negative 2. Okay, and this is my final answer. All right, so let's just recap what we were doing for solving the equations involving fractions. Okay, I noticed that all I did here was find the LCD. Okay, in the first example, it was 3. So you're just multiplying both of the sides of the equation by 3 to get rid of the fractions. And then you notice it just becomes this simple equation. Okay, and you're just going to solve for x. So take the numbers to the opposite sides. Okay, one more time. Also, if it's like a fraction like this, and it gives you a decimal on your calculator, you're just going to leave it as a fraction. Make sure you do simplify it to the lowest terms. All right. And in this third example that we were doing, okay, we are basically just cross multiplying. Okay, when I have one fraction equal to the other fraction. Okay, you can cross multiply, and when you do that, it just gets rid of the fractions. And in this step, we just use the distributive property, okay, before we put the like terms together. All right, so that looks good. And if there are no questions, that does bring this video to an end. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see everyone in the next video. Thanks, bye.